Hey everybody, God's Child and NC. Got another project going on today. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a haversack. Never made a haversack before. Came up with an idea that I wanted to try. Got everything I need here, including my kitty. She thinks she's going to help. What I did is I came up with a one-piece design. So that way I can make this, I'm going to try and make it out of one piece of material. Figure if I can make it out of one piece of material, it will have fewer seams in it, so therefore it'll be smoother, and on top of that it'll be stronger. So I don't have to worry about a seam on the bottom ripping apart and dumping everything out on the ground. What I came up with was this. Excuse me for a second. Okay. Now that my helper left, this is the bottom of the haversack. Side cutouts and the lid. Basically, as you can see here, it's all one piece. Lids. This lid section is 12 inches long. The body, or pretty much this section, is 16 inches long. And I made this end about 20 inches long, which will give me enough room to put a hem in it and also to take up for the difference here. Because what I'm going to do is I'll pull it back around and sew it back to itself, and then continue sewing down the side to make it into a big envelope. Also, I've got an additional piece here that I'm gonna, once I have everything hemmed, I'm gonna take this and make a measurement so I can put a back pocket inside of it. So that way if I have some smaller things that I want to separate in my haversack, I can put them in that back pocket, so I'm not constantly fishing down in the bottom of my haversack in the big part of it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another piece of the cotton duck, fold it over a couple of times, and sew it, and then I'm going to sew it to the pack. Once I make a loop through the Fastex buckle, through the clip. And what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a hemp strap that I made. I made this on my Inca loom. That was another project earlier. I'm going to take this end and hand sew this end to the side of the haversack. And this way you have an adjustable strap and a quick release, so that way you can use it around your waist or across your shoulders. And like I say, it's adjustable, so you can do that. And also, if you want, just a thought off the top of my head, if you didn't have a tree branch to hang your haversack on, you can take it off, adjust the strap down, clip it around a tree, and have it hold there. What I'm going to do now is I have to hem all along the sides of it here. What I'll do is I've got a box full of pins, got the machine set up. What I'm using to sew today, I've got some green thread, and it's upholstery thread, so it's pure nylon. It's a lot stronger, give me a little more strength putting this together. What I'll do, like I said, I gotta hem all this around. I'll take this, hem that, Now my edges here, I'm not gonna, these two edges I'm not gonna hem, because I'm just gonna, or this one, because I'm just gonna sew it back to itself, and that'll be the hem. The top of this, you can see I've got some extra cuts in here. I've got an extra cut here, and an extra cut going this way for the top. So I can take that extra and hem it and sew it down like that, and you'll see it makes it come straight into that solid piece. And this is for my hem that way. So that way when it comes up to the back of it, it's all set. And of course I'm going to hem all the way around here. But anyways, I'm going to get that started. I'll bring you over and show you a little bit of what I'm doing and the way it's going. I'm not going to do an awful lot of showing you the sewing on the machine. It's kind of boring. I really don't have a good tripod to set the camera on to show it. So I'll give you a few close-ups, but not much. Anyways, this is God's Child in NC. I'll complete this, and as I complete it, I'll add to it. Alright guys, well, here it is. I've done a little bit of work, just wanted to show you some of the detail here, and I'll bring it in a little bit closer. As you can see, I've pinned my edges down, but right here I actually had to recut that. See the little gap right there? Because I realized that I just had the hem wrong, so when it closed up it wasn't, I was going to have a little piece sticking out. But anyways, whoever it was that said the devil's in the details was not kidding. You can see my details here on the corners as I come up. I don't know, maybe I can do a little bit more work with that, but I doubt it. I'll probably do it just the way it is. You can see the way I've got this edge folded over, and you can see my pinning. As you can see, I pinned the crud out of it. And basically what that does is hold it all down. You'll also notice the way your pins are set is across the direction you're going to sew. And the reason for that is as you're sewing it, the needle will go right over top of that. Where it may be an exception would be on like this pin and this pin, which are coming through here. But what you can do is, once you get the foot on top of that, you can pull that pin. And that's probably what I'm going to end up doing with like a couple of these pins with the way they're in place. I'll probably end up pulling a pin as I sew it. Just make sure I got my foot in place. Anyway, there you go. There's some of the detail. Here's the pocket I've got put on the inside. There's the top of it. This is the top flap. You can see I've sewed across here already. Rolled it under, sewed it. But it is still just going to be a pocket. I folded all these edges under and pressed them. So what I'm going to do now that I've got it pinned, I'm just going to come and sew it so I've got a small pocket there. Hey guys, what I've got here is that's the strap that I'm going to attach to the buckle and then onto the side of the haversack. And as you can see, here's the buckle that I'm going to be fitting it to. But anyways, what you can see, I've folded it in half again, and now I've got it, and then I ironed it flat, but I also have it pinned. What I'll do is I'm just going to sew that edge together, and then when I attach it to the haversack, I'll roll it over like this with the buckle in the middle, and sew it down to the haversack again. I may have to hand sew that. I don't know if the machine will do that. But in any case, thought I'd show you that before I did it. Hey everybody, God's Child and NC here. Little change of venue. Excuse me. It's been a couple of days since the last splice in the video. Wasn't able to get this bag done in one day just due to outside forces. The work in and of itself doesn't take all that long, but just due to other obligations I had, I wasn't able to finish it in one day. So I told you I'd kind of keep you along on the way, and I showed you most of it. The last few parts of it I hadn't. This is just a great outdoors. You can hear all the birds just going at it. But anyways, here's the finished haversack. Wanted to show that to y'all. Yes, I'll give you a close-up here in just a minute. Just wanted to show you the size of this. I had already given you the dimension. It came out that it's 18 inches long, 10.5 inches wide. But I didn't realize just how big that was as far as a pouch goes. Because in here I've got my cup, and laying all the way across the bottom was a full 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew. But anyways, let me get up a little bit closer here and I'll show you what all this is. Alright guys, the strap I've got on here, I used the plastic wear with a Fastex buckle and an adjuster for adjustability, so you could take and adjust it down and wear it around your waist instead of up across your shoulder if you wanted to. All I did was I just took and hand sewed it in there. I took an extra piece of the fabric, doubled it over again, sewed it down the middle, and then folded it in half and sewed it out there, so I got a little bit more of an extension. The strap itself is made out of hemp, and I personally made this on my Inkaloom. Hopefully I'll have some videos up on that here shortly. As you can see, here it is completed. This side didn't come out too badly. It looks pretty good there. The main thing is, or the main goof I should say, is when I open it up you can see the rough edges here. And also what I did with this kind of being the prototype, I found out that on my sides you can see they're kind of folded in together. And what I did is I folded it in over itself and then sewed it in here. So that way, when the lid is over, when the flap is over it, it covers both sides. So once I wax this, being out in the woods walking in the rain, it holds, the flap covers over top of the whole sides, whereas before I had a rather decent size opening over here that this didn't cover. The seams you see are basically I sewed it together and then turned the bag inside out. That was also one of those things that took me a little bit longer to do, because I got everything done and got it all finished right, and I had sewed the sides together, and then I realized I sewed the sides together the other way around. So when I turned it inside out, the lid was like this. When it was closed, in my inside pocket was actually on the outside. Well, there you go. There's another good shot of it. Hold on, I got a couple more things in here. Oh, look at there. Got my sewing kit, a little bit of cordage, pair of sunglasses. Oh, can't forget the thread. But anyways, let me turn it inside out for you real quick. And like I said, I bought the material at Walmart. It's nothing more than cotton duck. This just happened to be the color they had. About 5/8 of a yard of it. I still have a long piece left over. That's long enough. I could probably double it over and use it for a strap. But here's what the inside looks like. And that's the pocket there. And here are my seams. And like I said, I just ran down the edges, and then of course I turned it inside out, because if you see, this is what the rough edges look like. So I just turned that inside out. Makes for a nice neat package. You see the fact that I used a zigzag stitch on the machine. That was also one of the reasons why I didn't get this done quite as quickly as I thought I would, is because of the fact that I was having difficulty with the machine. I was using my daughter's sewing machine, and her sewing machine was having some difficulty with the fact that I was using upholstery thread, which is a lot thicker than just normal cotton thread. The drawback to it is the fact that if, say, you were to get a piece of just white duck or white canvas or white cloth, whatever you want to use for your bag, and you sew it up and then dye it, the thread won't take the dye because it's nylon. And on top of that, I'd suggest, if you were going to do that, that you dye it before you put it all together. If you recall, when I first started the video, I had a step out here, come up, and it stepped back in. In the future ones, you can see I've got all this all bundled up in here, and it kind of so-so on looks. I'm going to come from here and just cut it straight across with the step out there at the bottom, so that way it still flares out at the bottom, gives you a whole lot more room in the bag, but as it comes up here, it'll close up at the top, so you don't have to do the fold and pinch and so forth. I mean, the fold and pinch isn't bad. It actually sets up almost like a bellows, and truly, if you wanted to, you could take the sides and iron it down flat and so forth and make it into a bellows type. But in any case, it's not too bad for the first try. But in any case, guys, this looks like it came out pretty good. Actually pretty pleased with it. That's about it. So I'll catch y'all the next time, and until I do, y'all take care. May God bless your path, and may the sun always be at your back.